It powered America's farms, towed its broken dreams, and outlasted engines times its price. But buried in its cast iron heart lies a secret racing pedigree, so explosive Ford tried to hide it. This is the shocking truth behind the engine mechanics called God's anvil, and why all other engines feared it. Birth of a legend. The Ford story begins not on a racetrack, but in the trenches. Ford needed an engine for its booming F-Series trucks. Something brutal, simple, and unstoppable. Enter engineer, Morse Jr. Ford, advanced engine design lead, and his team. Their mandate: build an engine that could pull stumps, run on ditch water, and survive Armageddon. In the post-war automotive boom of the late S and early S, as America's economy roared back to life, drivers wanted bigger, more capable vehicles. Ford recognized a growing market not just for cars, but for trucks that could haul heavier loads over long distances. To power these machines, the company needed an engine that was simple, durable, and capable of producing strong, low-end torque rather than just high rev horsepower. At the time, Ford's flathead Versas were popular, but they weren't the most efficient or cost-effective option for work vehicles. Straight-six engines had long been valued for their smoothness and mechanical balance, and Ford had already been building smaller inline-six motors for cars. The challenge was creating a larger, more robust version that could power both full-size sedans and light to medium-duty trucks. In the early S, Ford engineers began refining their six-cylinder designs. They wanted an engine with fewer moving parts than of which would reduce production costs and make maintenance easier. Straight sixes also had a narrower profile, which made them easier to package in a variety of chassis. More importantly, the inline configuration's long crankshaft and even firing order meant excellent torque delivery at low RPM, perfect for towing, hauling, and everyday utility work. The first big step came with the introduction of the Cub Inline-S in the mid-S. These engines quickly gained a reputation for reliability, but Ford was not done evolving the concept. By the early S, heavier trucks and vans were becoming more common, and Ford needed an even tougher power plant. That demand set the stage for the Ford, and eventually the now legendary Cubic and inline introduced in the wasn't just a scaled-up version of the earlier sixes. It was designed from the ground up, with heavy-duty service in mind. Its long and stroke gave it stump-pulling torque, while its rugged Block 7 main bearings and forged crankshaft allowed it to survive extreme abuse. Ford positioned the inline as the heart of its truck lineup, from FC-series pickups to industrial equipment. Its simplicity appealed to fleet operators and mechanics who could keep it running for decades with basic tools. Farmers, construction crews, and tradesmen came to trust it as an engine that would start in any weather, run under load all day, and ask for little in return. The creation of the Ford Inline was not about chasing performance headlines or building something flashy. It was born out of necessity, a practical answer to the demands of working Americans in an era when trucks were becoming essential to both business and daily life. Its straightforward design, low cost of ownership, and legendary durability made it a cornerstone of Ford's reputation in the truck market for over years. In short, the Ford Inline came to life because Ford listened to its customers. They didn't just want an engine, they wanted a partner they could count on for the long haul. The result was an unassuming workhorse that became one of the most respected engines in American automotive history. Mechanics lore called it the million-mile motor, or Big Six, recalls Bud Moore, legendary NASCAR crew chief. While Ford sold Versas, a rebellion brewed in garages. Hot rodders saw the S potential, the ultimate act of defiance, strapping on to four-barrel carbs. It was engineering heresy, manifold mavericks. Clifford Performance and Offenhauser made rare, expensive intakes. Finding one felt like uncovering pirate gold, said Mike Davidson. At its core, a system involves two four-barrel carburetors feeding the engine through a specialized intake manifold. This is a rare sight on an inline. Most people associate dual quads with muscle car versus like the Chevy, Hemi, or Ford's own seeing such a setup on a long, narrow. Straight six is not only unusual, but immediately attention-grabbing. The most fundamental benefit of the Z-Up is increased airflow. The Ford S long stroke and robust bottom end mean it can move a lot of air and fuel. But the stock one-barrel or two-barrel carburetors restrict its breathing, especially at higher RPM. by adding 2 smaller four-barrel carbs. Each feeding 3 cylinders through a balanced plenum, you dramatically increase the volume of air the engine can inhale. More air means more fuel can be burned efficiently, which translates directly into more horsepower, particularly in the mid to high RPM range where the stock engine starts to run out of breath. Of course, airflow alone isn't the whole story. A proper X conversion requires a special intake manifold. These are often custom-made or sourced from rare aftermarket suppliers, as Ford never offered a dual-quad manifold from the factory. The manifold must be carefully engineered to ensure equal distribution of the air-fuel mixture to each cylinder, preventing lean or rich conditions that could harm performance or reliability. Carburetor selection is equally important. While it might be tempting to bolt on the largest 4 barrels you can find, the key is balance. Most successful X builds use smaller carbs, often in the 2 range, so the total airflow is increased without overwhelming the engine at low speeds. This also helps maintain good throttle response and drivability, making the setup usable on the street as well as at the track. Tuning is the next critical step. Dual carburetors must be synchronized so that they open at the same rate and deliver the same amount of fuel under all conditions. Some builders run both carbs together, progressive linkage, while others use a staged approach where one carb handles most of the light load work and the second opens only under heavy throttle. Either way, fine-tuning the jetting, idle mixture, and accelerator pump action is essential to extract the maximum benefit from the setup. When combined with other performance modifications such as a hotter camshaft, free-flowing headers, and an upgraded ignition system, Z-equipped Ford can produce significantly more power than stock, while retaining its legendary torque curve. The dual carbs help the engine breathe better at high RPM, while the long stroke ensures that low-end pulling power remains strong. Beyond the performance gains, the visual appeal of a dual-quad inline cannot be overstated. Pop the hood at a car show or a drag strip, and you're guaranteed to draw a crowd. The sight of 2 polished carburetors sitting atop a long, gleaming intake with fuel lines neatly routed and linkage exposed gives the engine a mechanical artistry that's pure old-school hot rodding. In the end, adding a Shintake system to the Ford inline is as much about personality as it is about power. It's a statement that you're willing to take the road less traveled to build something unique that defies expectations. The result is a potent, distinctive engine that blends the torque and durability with the high-performance swagger of a dual-quad setup. A combination that turns an already respected workhorse into an unforgettable piece of machinery. Driver's addiction. It wasn't peaky like a V, said Dick Brandon, SECA Rally Champ F. The torque hit you like a sledgehammer off idle. You could feel every cubic inch working. It pulled like a freight train. Never quit. The unlikely racing glory, its truck engine didn't belong on the track until it started winning. The shocking victories, circle track dominance. In NASCAR's late model Sportsman Series S, underdog teams used for its torque advantage on short tracks and durability. Driver Jack Ingram, the Iron Man, reportedly tested one, noting it wouldn't rev high. But it hooked up coming off the corners when the VS were spinning. Ingram Team Records mentioned testing Ford S in drag racing sleeper. Ohio George Montgomery, famous AA gasser builder, experimented with Ford S while not his primary. He noted that block cast iron fortress with booster juice. It wouldn't split like a V-truck. Pulled Titans became the king of budget pullers. Why blow up expensive Vs, said Puller. Dirty Don Wilkins. The abuse made torque down low where you needed it and cost pennies to fix. But to truly take advantage of this added flow, the engine benefits immensely from 3 other performance enhancements. The right camshaft, a set of free-flowing headers, and a strong ignition system. In stock form, the Ford S camshaft is designed for low RPM efficiency and smooth operation, which is ideal for work duty, but leaves performance potential untapped. Installing a performance camshaft tailored to the engine's intended use transforms how it behaves. For a dual-quad setup, a cam with longer duration and higher lift allows the valves to stay open longer and further, letting in more of the increased air-fuel mixture supplied by the carburetors. This increases high RPM breathing capacity, letting the engine rev more freely and produce more power in the mid to upper RPM range without sacrificing too much low-end torque. However, cam selection is a balancing act. Too radical a grind will shift the torque curve too high, making the engine less friendly for street driving. Many builders opt for a torque cam with a broad power band, ensuring that keeps its legendary low-end pull while waking up the top end. Perfect for trucks that need to perform on the road and at the drag strip. Headers, letting the engine exhale. If the carburetors and camshaft improve how the engine breathes in, headers improve how it breathes out. The factory cast iron exhaust manifolds on the are restrictive, designed for durability rather than flow. A quality set of tuned long tube headers opens up the exhaust path, reducing back pressure and allowing spent gases to exit more efficiently. This is especially important for an engine with a dual quad setup. Without sufficient exhaust flow, the extra intake air and fuel can't be fully utilized, leading to a bottleneck. Long tube headers improve scavenging, where the momentum of exhaust gases helps pull fresh air-fuel mixture into the cylinders, which complements a Dayton performance cam and high-flow intake beautifully. For a Ford, some custom header work may be necessary, especially if the vehicle has tight engine bay clearances. But the gains in horsepower, torque, and throttle response are well worth the effort. Ignition upgrades, lighting the fire. With more air and fuel entering the engine, it's critical to ensure that the mixture is ignited reliably and at the correct time. The factory ignition system, while adequate for stock power levels, can fall short when the demands increase. Upgrading to a high-energy ignition or modern electronic ignition provides a hotter, more consistent spark. Ensuring complete combustion, even under heavy load and at higher RPM, adjustable timing control. Allows fine-tuning for the increased airflow and compression, helping extract every bit of performance without detonation issues. High-performance spark plug wires, quality plugs gapped correctly for the new setup, and a strong coil all contribute to smoother operation, quicker starts, and more efficient power delivery. The combined effect, more power without losing torque. The beauty of upgrading a Ford with dual quads, camshaft headers, and ignition improvements is that these modifications work together in harmony. The dual quad setup increases the intake volume. The camshaft optimizes valve timing to use that air-fuel charge effectively. The headers clear exhaust gases efficiently, and the ignition lights the mixture with precision and power. When done right, the result is an engine that can push well beyond its original factory horsepower. Sometimes by percent or more, while retaining, and in some cases, even enhancing its famous torque curve. Instead of a narrow, peaky power band, you get strong pull from low RPM all the way to the higher rev range, making the engine versatile for both work and play. Most enthusiasts chasing horsepower start with a VBUT. Building a performance inline like the Ford is an exercise in mechanical creativity and individuality. The long, narrow engine bay presence of a straight six with dual quads, chrome air cleaners, and braided fuel lines is pure visual drama. It's an engine that doesn't just perform. It tells a story of old-school ingenuity and a willingness to go against the grain. For those who appreciate torque as much as horsepower, the upgraded Ford is an unbeatable combination. It's a power plant that can cruise comfortably, tow confidently, and still surprise people at a stoplight or on the drag strip. In the end, adding the right camshaft, headers, and ignition upgrades to a dual quad, Ford Inline transforms a dependable workhorse into a genuine performance contender. One that keeps its deep, muscular torque while waking up the top end in a way few would expect from a straight six. It's proof that with the right parts and tuning, they can be both a torque monster and a head-turner. Mechanics dubbed it God's Anvil for its indestructibility. The silent war inside Ford and the coming doom, but the success hit a dark reality. Ford's V division saw it as a threat. Worse, emissions regulations were strangling the simple, carbureted engine. The greater conflict? Corporate sabotage? Rumors persist that Vafost executives starved the six of R&D funds. We begged for fuel injection development for the acclaimed retired engineer Frank Miller, Ford Powertrain. In a forum Q&A they said, put it in a V unverified, but widely reported in enthusiast circles. Emissions stranglehold. The S-Simple design struggled with nitrogen and carbon LLM standards. Horsepower plummeted to horsepower by 4, those who see value in the unexpected. Building a high-performance Ford is a statement. It's not about following the well-worn path of dropping in a small block or big block V. Instead, it's about taking something designed for work trucks, generators, and industrial equipment, and showing the world what it can do when given the same attention and resources as a traditional performance platform. This underdog charm stems from the S history. From until the mid-S, it powered countless Ford trucks, vans, and even some specialty vehicles. It was designed to pull hard from low RPM, not to spin fast or win races. But its stout construction, 7 main bearings, a forged steel crankshaft, and a long stroke design means it's capable of handling far more power than Ford ever intended. When enthusiasts bolt on performance parts like a Exel quad carburetor setup, performance camshaft, headers, and upgraded ignition, they're not just making it faster. They're rewriting the narrative of what a Ford inline can be. There's something deeply satisfying about watching jaws drop when the hood comes up to reveal a gleaming high. Flow intake, feeding to carburetors, or hearing the unmistakable deep exhaust note of a tuned 6, that sounds nothing like a V. Part of the appeal is the mechanical curiosity involved. Because the aftermarket for the Ford is smaller than for a Ford or Chevy, builders often have to get creative, adapting parts from other platforms, fabricating custom components, or tracking down rare vintage speed equipment. It's a build that rewards ingenuity, resourcefulness, and a willingness to experiment. There's also an old-school hot rodding ethos at play. In the early days of hot rodding, enthusiasts worked with whatever they could find. Whether it was a Ford flathead V8 Chevy stovebolt, or even an inline engine from a farm truck, the goal was to squeeze every ounce of performance from an unlikely source. And in many ways, the Ford build carries on that tradition in the modern era. When done right, a performance-built Ford doesn't just hold its own. It stands out in a crowd of cookie-cutter VUSWAPs. At a cruise-in or drag event, people gather around not because it's the fastest car there, but because it's different, and because it shows that speed and style can come from unexpected places. Ultimately, the appeal of building a Ford inline into a high-performance engine lies in its ability to surprise. It's the joy of proving that a so-called work truck motor can be refined into a torque, visually striking powerhouse. It's about taking the road less traveled and finding pride in creating something both functional and unique. A machine that blends old-school ingenuity with modern performance know-how. Turning the humble workhorse into a head-turning statement of individuality, the Loyalists' last stand. Small shops like Leo Sanui's 6-cylinder specialties kept racing hopes alive with wild turbo builds. "We ran 12s in a Econoline van, scared the hell out of Camaros," Sanucci told CarCraft. What if? Perhaps the most striking part of the Ford S racing legacy is how it thrived in underdog situations. Builders weren't choosing it because it was the easy path. They were choosing it because it defied convention. Victories in small-town tracks and regional events cemented its place as a sleeper powerhouse. And yet, as impressive as its grassroots racing history is, one secret build rumored to be the most powerful Ford ever. Ford killed in the official reason, emissions, and progress. But whispers persist of a lost project. Rumors swirled for decades. Secret Ford Skunkworks project Centimet Atlas, a twin-turbo fuel-injected targeting plus pound-feet torque for a new Super Duty line. Killed in. Was it too powerful? Too efficient? Did it threaten the Vampire? As the blueprints vanished. The engineers sworn to silence. What if Atlas had lived? Would diesel dominance have been challenged? Would the Anvil have become a performance icon? The truth remains buried. But the legend of the inline endures, because sometimes the greatest engines aren't the loudest. They're the ones you can't kill.